The Odi Massacre, a stark reminder of conflict and power. The Odi Massacre, when a town was erased by guns. In the early hours of November 20th, 1999, the tranquil town of Odi in Bayelsa State, nestled in the heart of Nigeria's Niger Delta, became a theater of horror. What unfolded over the next few days would go down in history as one of Nigeria's most brutal military crackdowns. A stark reminder of the cost of conflict between state power and marginalized communities. The Niger Delta, rich in oil but impoverished in development, had long been a hotbed of discontent. Decades of environmental degradation from oil exploration, combined with neglect by successive governments, had bred resentment among its inhabitants. Armed militancy was on the rise, as youths, disillusioned by unfulfilled promises, turned to violence to demand justice. In November 1999, a group of militants ambushed and killed 12 policemen in Odi, accusing them of colluding with the government to suppress the community's demands. The killings shocked the nation and provoked the Nigerian government under President Olusegun Obasanjo to take swift and decisive action. Obasanjo issued an ultimatum demanding the surrender of those responsible. When the perpetrators were not produced, the government ordered a military operation to apprehend them. The government's response came in the form of a military invasion. On November 20th, Nigerian soldiers stormed Odi with tanks, heavy artillery and automatic weapons. The operation was ostensibly aimed at capturing the militants responsible for the police killings, but its execution was indiscriminate and devastating. As the soldiers entered the town, they razed homes, churches and schools, leaving a trail of destruction. Villagers, caught unaware, fled into the surrounding forests. Many were hunted down while others succumbed to hunger and exposure in the days that followed. By the time the soldiers withdrew, Odi was a smoldering ruin and hundreds of civilians lay dead. Estimates of the death toll vary, with some sources citing figures as high as 2,500, though exact numbers remain contested. The soldiers systematically destroyed homes, businesses and community structures, leaving the town in ruins. Notably, only a few buildings, such as a bank, a church and a health center, were left standing. The Odi massacre sparked outrage both within Nigeria and internationally. Human rights organizations condemned the military's actions as a disproportionate and indiscriminate use of force. Survivors recounted harrowing tales of brutality, with reports of summary executions and sexual violence adding to the grim tally of abuses. The Nigerian government defended the operation as a necessary measure to restore law and order, asserting that the military acted within its mandate to apprehend criminals. However, the scale of destruction and loss of life led many to view the operation as a punitive expedition against the entire community rather than a targeted law enforcement action. For the government, the operation was a message to militias in the Niger Delta. The state would not tolerate lawlessness. But for the people of Odi and the wider region, it was a stark reminder of their vulnerability and the cost of standing up to entrenched power. In the years following the massacre, survivors and advocacy groups sought justice through the Nigerian legal system. In 2000, a group of survivors filed a lawsuit against the Nigerian government, seeking compensation for the destruction of their town and the loss of their loved ones. In 2013, a Nigerian court ruled in their favor, ordering the government to pay 37.6 billion naira, about $240 million, in damages. The court's decision was seen as a significant acknowledgement of the wrongs suffered by the Odi community. However, the process of compensation has been fraught with delays and controversies, and many victims have yet to receive reparations. The Odi massacre remains a dark chapter in Nigeria's history, a stark illustration of the tensions between the federal government and the Niger Delta communities. For the people of Odi, it was more than a tragedy. It was an erasure of their heritage, a wound that decades of rebuilding could not entirely heal. The massacre also had a profound impact on the psyche of the Niger Delta communities, reinforcing sentiments of mistrust towards the federal government and contributing to the rise of militant groups seeking greater autonomy and control over local resources. Today, Odi stands as a reminder of the heavy price of conflict and the need for dialogue over force. The massacre remains a rallying point for activists and a cautionary tale for leaders, a stark lesson on the consequences of ignoring the voices of the oppressed. Please like, share and follow or subscribe to this page for more. Thank you.